They say when someone dies, the first thing the family does is grieve. Mine filed paperwork. My name is Carol Connors. I wasn't born unwanted, just unnecessary. A placeholder, a shadow to someone brighter. My brother Brian was the sun in our house. Golden boy. Law school, scholarships, debates, the whole package. Me, I was the oops in the family photo. We weren't poor. We weren't loud. We were staged, matching towels, polished deck, holiday cards that made it seem like love lived there. But beneath the fresh paint and posed smiles, there was a silence that wrapped around me like wallpaper. Permanent, invisible, ignored. My father, Richard Connors, had a voice like a sledgehammer in velvet. He didn't yell. He just reminded you were a disappointment with surgical precision. Be more like Brian. You wouldn't last 2 weeks without this roof. Sometimes he didn't need words, just a glance across the dinner table. You'd lose your appetite before the fork hit your lips. My mother, Evelyn, smiled at me the way someone smiles at a stranger's kid in the grocery store. She didn't hate me. She just forgot I was hers. She noticed me when she wanted something fixed. My posture, my clothes, my tone, my presence. By the time I turned 30, I stopped asking them to see me. I worked nights at a small bookstore, paid my bills, avoided birthdays. Brian, he had a condo, a law degree, a fiancé, and my mother's Facebook timeline. But nothing, not the neglect, not the birthdays they missed, prepared me for the truth. They found more value in me dead than alive. It was raining when it started. Not gentle, not cinematic. Needles against glass. I was closing the store, alone. My car smelled like old coffee and exhaustion. Same route home. The shuttered diner. The crooked neon grace sign on the church. The bump by the softball field where memories used to live. Halfway down I-93, my brakes hesitated. Just long enough for my gut to panic. Then, headlights. A semi-truck. Jackknifed. 2 cars, gone in an instant. I swerved. Everything screamed. Tires, metal, the part of me that still wanted to survive. Impact. Blackness. I woke up to antiseptic air. Humming machines and a stranger in uniform. Officer Mark Tyler. Late 40s. Weathered but kind. A man who'd seen too much. "You're lucky," he said. "Car's totaled. You've got a mild concussion, but you'll live." I blinked. "Who called it in?" He looked down at his clipboard, then up at me, cautious. "We found your ID in a burned-out vehicle near the wreck." My stomach dropped. "The other driver?" I asked. He didn't answer right away. Finally, "Your parents think you were in that car." Silence. "They already filed a death certificate, insurance, obituary drafts, all within 24 hours. I choked on the air. "They didn't check the hospital?" He shook his head. "They didn't even ask. I could have called them. I could have stopped it. But I didn't." I looked Officer Tyler in the eye and asked him the one thing he probably didn't expect. What if? "We don't tell them yet." He studied me for a long time. "You want to see what they say," he murmured. I nodded. "I want to hear how they grieve someone they never really loved." He leaned back, the weight of his badge behind every word. "If we do this, we do it right. No phone, no socials. I know a place, off-grid. You disappear, and I handle the rest." The cabin was one room and 1,000 echoes. A chipped mug, a blanket that scratched, a lake that didn't care who I was. Tyler came daily. No questions, just, "Did you sleep? Did you eat? Are you okay?" Day 2, I lied. Day 3, I stopped lying. He showed up that morning holding a folded piece of paper. "They printed this," he said, handing it to me. "A funeral program. On the cover, a middle school photo of me with braces and a crooked trophy. Caption: She was quiet, but tried her best. Quiet, tried, best. Even in death, I was a footnote in my own life." "How much?" I asked, voice hollow. He paused. 1 million. That's what I was worth. A number on a form. Not a phone call. Not a bedside check. Just profit. "They filed everything," Tyler said again. "Didn't even wait for a confirmed body." I stared at the photo. Then I said it. "Let's give them what they want." Sunday morning. Too sunny for morning. I wore plain black. No makeup, no jewelry. The outfit of someone who wasn't supposed to be seen until she wanted to be. Tyler drove 2 blocks from the church. He handed me his badge. "If this goes sideways, I'm right behind you." I slipped in through the back, beneath the choir balcony. The casket was closed, of course, empty, like the love that never filled that house. My mother was front row, in navy silk, dabbing staged tears. My father was whispering to a man with slicked hair and a briefcase. "Policy clears Monday," I heard Richard murmur. "As long as no loose ends show up," the man said. Loose ends. That was me. I stepped into the aisle. Each step was a thunderclap. Brian turned. The rep dropped his pen. My mother spun around, confused, then pale. "You're supposed to be dead," Richard said. Not shocked, not relieved, just annoyed. I stopped 3 feet from the casket. "You were always a burden." And then Tyler stepped forward, calmly. One hand reached into his coat. He pressed a button. Click. My father's voice played, cold and final. "She was always going to fail. We just made peace with it sooner." Handcuffs didn't echo, but the camera flashes did. By that evening, headlines read, "Daughter declared dead, walks into her own funeral, parents arrested at scene." My name, Carol Connors, was everywhere. 3 decades of invisibility, replaced overnight by virality. My parents were charged with insurance fraud and obstruction. Richard refused to comment. Evelyn couldn't find a camera that cared anymore. And Brian, he didn't sign the forms. He didn't say a word. He just disappeared, like I once did. They told me I'd be forgotten, that I'd never amount to more than a shadow. But the day I walked into my own funeral, I didn't just crash their narrative. I rewrote mine. Now the world knows what they tried to bury.